man, oh man, we're back at it. It's been about a 5-month hiatus almost, but we're back to talk more Resident Alien Season 2. We had an 8-episode first half. If I read things correctly, we have another 8 episodes this season. And guess what? To my honest-to-God surprise, it got picked up for a third season, I should say. A third season. And it just surprises me because in the era where streaming is dominating, a sci-fi original getting 3 seasons feels like it shouldn't happen, but it's happening. It's pretty cool if you ask me. So, I've always loved what this show has been capable of doing, and even though I haven't seen it in a couple months, it just kind of like left, and I felt like, can it keep its momentum when it comes back? You know, like, it's a big enough break where you could forget what happens. So you have to really come back in swinging. And I was always just hesitant on if the show could do that. Because it's good, but it doesn't have like that longevity staying power that some other shows do. So I was very worried, like, is it going to come back swinging? Yep. Look, I'm doing these reviews, so obviously I could do more talk about Resident Alien, but I am just so impressed with how this show has managed to perfectly encapsulate cringe humor, because it's such like a rare thing to do it authentically, where it feels like these are actual people and how people would talk. It's hard to do. And this episode, it really reminded me a couple things. One, I missed the show because I don't feel like I have that big science fiction comedy that's really making me feel these things right now. And two, this cast is so good. They are all so funny and talented. And they really play up certain strengths for certain actors. Again, Alan Tudyk is so good. The actor playing Mike, hilarious. The actor playing Ben is hilarious. The actress playing Judy had surprisingly a lot to do this episode. She had some of the funniest moments where she's trying to give Mike a mixed CD in the year 2022. And she did like a recording for like Malcolm X, but she thought it was Malcolm 10. And that was just hilarious. And she has a scene where she's pretending to get shot so they can like change the crime scene to being inpatient instead of Jessup, and she actually falls in the hot tub, and people are like, why did you do that? It's like, it's such a small character who doesn't get a lot to do in this show, but you really just found a way to give that actress something fun to do. And I'm like, that is so cool. And I really like that. So this picks up right where we left off at the end of the first half. We see that Asta has shot the guy that tried to shoot Harry. You know, this guy that maybe has connections to Sam and to the original Harry. A lot of weird mob ties and potentially dark stuff going on behind the scenes. Criminal organizations and people getting killed. We kill him. Darcy sees it, and her initial reaction is like, oh, we're going to cover it? Okay, if we're not going to the police, I know exactly how to handle this situation. We'll move the body. He's staying in a hotel. We'll drop it in the hot tub. We'll fake the gunshots. Everything's going to be fine. Her initial thought is we could put him in a wood chipper. We don't have one, though. And I'm just like, she's the best, you know? You need a Darcy in your life, because if you're an Asta and you're just like, every single thing happening is my world crumbling around me, you need the friend right there who's like, yeah, it's all good though, you know? Could have some fun with it. And she's like, look, if the world goes to shit and this all falls apart, I already have like a fake identity I can build in a new life somewhere. And she said like Puerto Vallarta, and I'm like, that's funny. It's a great joke. Great use of that character, great use of that dynamic. Asta doesn't get a lot to play in this episode, and I'm kind of glad they set up that she's going to be moving away from the like, I'm just feeling guilty about this situation. It sucks and leads into something that's going to be even more tragic to watch later, because her arc this episode's like, I killed a guy, I can't function properly. Harry's solution at the end of the episode, I'll just make her forget that happened. Which, I like that. It's just, let's just move past this. We don't need to dwell on this. If it's not an important beat of the story, why bother explaining it further? But it also sets up the tension that she's now going to forget it was Jay's birthday and they were going to go out for dinner. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think it was going to hit me that hard. But I'm like, oh man, she was just getting things good. Asta was just on the right track. This is going to mess it up, and it's all Harry's fault. It's very fun. And again, you got to commend Alan Tudyk. He's a guy that's consistently put in the hard work for a show like this. He's the guy from the beginning. No matter what, he's going to do something good. To me, he's one of the definitions of he's never bad in anything. He is given so much to do in this show, and it's just so impressive to see the way he is uncomfortable, the way he tries to act like he doesn't know something when clearly knowing something. It's a role that not everybody could do, and I mean that wholeheartedly. You couldn't get certain other actors of his caliber or of his generation to do what he's doing, committing to the genre work. It is so funny the way he is doing the couples therapy when he just clearly wants to do anything else and is trying to find the way to get the word in edgewise to stop the conversation, but he can't. It's brilliant stuff, the way he tries to take over the crime scene, but the gunman was over here, so that's how that unfolds. It is hilarious and really good stuff. He's so good in this. He's incredibly fun. And I say it every time, but my favorite, I guess, not even supporting cast, because they're main cast members. My favorite characters are Ben and Mike. I just think they are hilarious. And Ben is just so funny. He gets called Snowflake in this, Mayor Snowflake. And I'm like, that is hilarious. He's the one that calls it in, the death happened in Jessup, so they should deal with it there. And now that he got Harry back as the doctor, he's just like, oh, no, we can get back to our therapy sessions. But my wife's going to come in and be demanding again, and I just love it. He's such a good character. It's just such a funny performance. And I just love, later in the night, he comes to hang out with Harry, and he just goes into a drunken spiel about how he was approached to be a model just at the mall one time. Doesn't specify what mall or what agency or anything. He's just like, he said I had Superman's jawline. Dude, you're a Jimmy Olsen at best, man. It is hilarious. It's that character could easily be annoying, but he's just the perfect combination of in control and cringing at every moment. And it looks like they're actually going to have the baby, so that's kind of exciting. Kind of fun, a new area to explore. So that's 2 babies kind of running around potentially. I guess in season 3 we'll probably see them have the kid, because we got that baby on the way. We have a little baby alien running around killing people. It killed 2 people. This alien killed 2 people. That's kind of fun. Speaking of people that we think are dead, David, who's the character working for Linda Hamilton, he's not dead. Turns out there's a mole in her agency, which could potentially be the big threat, because we're just teasing the idea that this other alien race is going to come down to kill humanity. We haven't seen who they are or what they're up to. That threat's still in the air. We don't know where they are, but they are potentially coming. Maybe they are a mole in the agency of Linda Hamilton. Once again, I do want to say, it's Linda Hamilton. That is so cool. And she's the perfect cast for something like this. I love it. If we get Alex Borstein back, I'll be swimming happy, baby. Because that's great. There's a mole in the agency. Who is it going to be? Could be anybody. We also introduce a detective out of Jessup in this episode. We don't say her actual name. It feels like they want you to think a will they, won't they will be coming for her and Mike, but you don't really give that impression. I just think she's probably going to be a recurring character who will be working on the case of Thumb, and potentially Mike's going to be put in a situation where he has to save her, thus emulating his last story from the previous episodes, where we learn how he didn't help his friend when his friend was shot and killed. It's interesting. Makes sense to me. I like it. The stuff with Liv was really fun too, where she's just trying to get a hold of the alien hunter, who I hope they get a hold of, and I hope the person that comes in is a big name. Oh, if it would be Nathan Fillion, that would be funny. I know he was the octopus, but come on. That would just be hilarious. I guess we'll see what happens, but I love that dynamic. The sheriff and deputy dynamic is so funny in this show. I just love how uncomfortable everybody makes each other. It's authentic. It's beautiful. It's fun. There's no Max in this episode, which is very surprising to me. Is there? I know there's certain laws about child actors. I wonder if they're just maybe we don't have the kid in every episode, since now we're saying motherfucker a lot more, and I'm like, well, that could be something. But it's very interesting that he wasn't here. It feels like we haven't seen a lot of him recently, because I can't recollect everything perfectly from the last episode, but I don't think he was a major part in that either. So I wonder if we're holding off for a big thing with Max and Sahar coming up, but we'll see. It's fun. It's great to be back in this world. Everything is up and running at full steam again. The jokes are still landing so perfectly and beautifully. I really, really dig that. Everyone's firing on all cylinders. Like, the show had a long enough break where it could be forgotten and just become another piece of content that we just enjoy. It's finding its footing again, and it's just really enjoyable. You know, Resident Alien is that show. It feels like the sleeper show that not a lot of people are talking about, but it's obviously doing well enough if it's getting a third season, and that's really cool to see. I like where the story's going. You know, we got Jessup and Patience kind of feuding, more tensions at home with Kate and Ben. Harry wants to do an autopsy. Asta's got some problems. Now her mind is whammied. What else is she going to forget? How is that going to affect her relationship with Harry? It's all really good stuff. It's perfectly balancing the comedy and the drama to this really intense story with character actors and giving performances that you don't normally see on this level of television. There really isn't anything like this show. And that's really cool. That makes it very special. And I'm just really impressed with what we are actually getting from this show, because it could easily fall to the wayside, but the fact that they're balancing everything so well, and Alan Tudyk is giving the performance of his life. I know it's a genre show, and those don't get the spotlight sometimes at the awards, but what he is just physically doing in every scene is better than almost every other person on television right now. It is so seamlessly awkward, and I enjoy that so much. And that is going to do it for this review of Episode 9, The Return of Resident Alien. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck. I did this for Strange New Worlds. I don't know why I'm doing it here, but there you go. See you in the next one. Weekly, baby. We're back weekly.